I rise today in opposition to HB 4647. Years of conversation among legislators in Lansing have revolved around paying down the unfunded liability in our legacy pension system for school employees. The bill before us today does not even begin to address the unfunded liability. Instead, the bill raises costs and increased risk for teachers, does nothing to address the debt that remains in the pension system, and increases the burden on our school districts in contributing to teachers' retirements. How do we get to this point? How have we now, in the final minutes before we vote on this legislation, strayed so far from years of conversations about how to prudently address our pension debt? If our leaders were actually committed to addressing the issue they say they are, surely they would have invited new and veteran teachers to the table to discuss this bill, or hear from career counselors in schools of education, or from human resource specialists in districts that face the most dire shortages, right? So we can begin to understand the problem. But we did not do any of those things when it came to writing this bill. And instead, we held hearings during which we heard from no teachers, no parent advocates, and no students. And the consequence is that the retirements of a generation of new teachers are being considered here today without teachers having given input on this legislation. Would we do that with any other career? Would we so fundamentally transform the prospects of any other single profession without inviting anyone from that field to the table?
And Representative, I'm attempting to provide latitude for your comments to support your comments to this bill, but please keep them tailored. Thank you. The chair recognizes Representative Camilleri.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill radically changes what retirements look like for our teachers, both those who are new to the classroom and more veteran teachers. Consider the 24-year-old award-winning teacher in my district whose dreams of a stable retirement can now be constantly infringed upon by a legislature who moves the goalposts with an ever-shifting retirement age. Will she be able to retire at 65, 70, 75? Who knows? Imagine a 32-year-old veteran teacher who wants to step away from the classroom to raise their children, but can no longer purchase credit in their retirement plan while on parental leave. Will she return to the classroom? And I think of my former colleague in teaching, a 25-year-old teacher who contacted me just yesterday. She recently finished her last semester of graduate school, but is now looking to leave the state of Michigan because she doesn't see a future for our teachers here. Will she ever want to come back? This bill represents our state taking another step back when it comes to being competitive for the brightest and best young teachers from across the country. And it shows why we struggle to hold on to veteran teachers as they see a state government that does not take seriously its commitment to ensure great teachers can make a career here in our public schools. From our constituents observing us at home, what grade do you think that we would get? Well, this bill fails to take seriously our state's fiscal future. This bill fails to take seriously our state's teacher shortage. And we've failed to provide the type of serious, deliberative, transparent debate that a topic of this importance deserves. We've wasted years of well-intentioned discourse in a 48-hour flash of legislative malpractice. This process and this proposal deserves an F. I urge a no vote on this bill.